Welcome to Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Michael, good morning. This is
Good
special for us.
morning.
It's a morning show.
I kind of like the morning show. It feels good. The light's a little different. You can kind of see back here a lot of light on your face too. You're looking good. We haven't seen you in a while. You've been sick.
Yeah, I'm back. Kind of 23 days post COVID. People will think I'm soft, and they're probably right, but I'm still not back all the way. I'm still a little congested, coughing a little. Don't have my energy back. 23 days. It's kind of crazy.
How's the food tasting? We had dinner last night. We had a little Hanukkah dinner last night. How did everything take? Could you taste everything after COVID? I didn't want wine. I couldn't taste wine very well. It wasn't like appealing to me anymore.
Thankfully, my taste is intact. Thank you for the
Good.
brisket dinner, Hanukkah dinner, Mike. That
Yeah,
was
it's
great
great.
last night. We had the latkes, we had matzo ball soup, the whole thing,
We
and
did it all.
and you're gearing up for a big trip to the homeland coming up soon. This is
I
a
know.
big Jewish time for you.
But yeah, going in February, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So it's it's the holiday time. This is a warm-up show right now for our Sports Adamas show. I know that's what everybody waits for. Sports Adamas coming next week, Jeremy. I don't know. I have to look back at our predictions from last year. I don't know if we hit as many as we usually do, but I think next year is going to be a good prediction year. I feel
There's
it in me.
there's one that I
Oh.
hit so spot on. I can't wait to share it and remind people.
Oh.
Next show. Yeah.
I got to go listen back to that show because I don't remember. I was like really trying to. I was like, what did we talk about last year? I don't remember any good predictions. But all right, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So that's next week. So stop by next week.
Yes,
You're on vacation.
that's
You're not
next week.
working. You're around your family. You probably want a little break from them. So listen to our show next week. Come back and download. So what do we miss? First of all, I made a list of sports things that we missed. I just wanted to touch on a few.
Sure.
We touched on like COVID. We had Thanksgiving. Now we're heading into Christmas. You went skiing. Anything else in the world that we should touch on before we get to my sports list?
We haven't done a show since Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Before
Thanksgiving.
So you dipped out, you got sick, you're back.
Yeah.
What did we miss in the last few weeks? Because I couldn't remember. I sat down this morning like, what did we miss? I know there's some breaking news we can talk about, like YouTube and everything like that, but I want to know what we missed.
Okay, well, here's my list. A few things that we missed since our last show. One is that Tua's not good anymore.
Oh, wow. You came to realize that.
Oh, I didn't realize it, but the world did. It wasn't me so much as everyone else. Tua's lost 3 in a row.
Okay.
He played in LA and he had the yips in that one game against the Chargers. He was like 8 for 24 passing. That was terrible.
Okay.
They played better in the snow, but they still lost. They're on a 3-game losing streak. I feel like the Tua MVP talk is coming down a little bit. Didn't get selected to the Pro Bowl, which was sad.
Was there a lot of Tua MVP talk? Because I don't remember those rumblings.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was a lot. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, you didn't listen to those?
I didn't hear those. Yeah. No Miami podcast for me.
So that's one thing we missed. Hopefully they bounce back this week against the Packers. Christmas Day game. We can talk about the NFL slate this week, and it's interesting. Most games on Saturday, and then Sunday we've got like a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, except the Sunday games aren't very good, but we'll talk about that.
Jeremy, I just want to say we got a little comment here. Matt Hines loving the flow, loving the hair.
Wow.
A lot of people haven't been watching live. Jeremy's got almost a full head of hair going on right now.
I'm back. Good. You know, thank you, Hines, for saying that. Thank you to our Austin friend. Shout out to the wedding venue business, just killing it. The flower business, just killing it. This guy is just the businessman of our dreams, and he's listening to our show, which is impressive.
I love that. Just a little hair compliment goes a long way. You just shout out his whole life. He's doing great. Yeah, that's good.
I think it's like the best thing I could possibly hear at this point is a hair compliment. After you shave your head for 2 years and you start growing it out again, any compliment is great. Wow. So thanks for that.
Look at that. Looking good. He won't stop. He just wants
the live comments. Yeah. That's great. The businessman of our dreams. Another quarterback that's not very good anymore. Dak Prescott. He lost to Trevor Lawrence. He's throwing bad interceptions. I don't like to admit it, and you know I don't, but I've been wrong on Dak. I'm just going to say it.
Jeremy, I've known this for a long time. I think Cooper Rush was doing a better job than Dak. Dak's back. Last week, I went on a ski trip with a mutual friend, and we were drunk, and we put in what I think to be one of the best future bets I've ever placed before. We placed. A lot of comments from our Austin friend here.
I love the comments just live.
That's great.
Podcast host of our dreams. This is what you're missing out on if you're not watching on YouTube and you can't see my hair or anything. If you're just listening, get to your closest YouTube and turn us on.
Turn it on right now. We placed one of the best future bets of all time. We were watching the San Francisco game against Seahawks. Sad game for the Seahawks, but I'm loving Brock Purdy. I'm loving what he's doing. We placed a Super Bowl matchup prediction. We did San Francisco versus KC. I think that's the matchup there. I think San Francisco, kind of an underdog. They got the rookie. I think they're looking good. I was really excited about it. That's what happened over the weekend when I was gambling. So
you love Brock Purdy that much, so the Niners
God.
players love him too. They call him
Love him.
Big Dick Brock or something.
No, they
Big
don't.
Balls
They don't.
Brock.
Not everybody needs a big dick in front of their name.
No, they say he's got the biggest balls. Like multiple linemen are talking about this, and I think they shower with him, so they must know. Yeah.
So like real life balls or just like
I don't know. I mean,
okay.
fake balls, because he comes in there and it's like Jimmy G doesn't miss a beat, and he's like Jimmy G or better right away, and he's Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the draft, the last pick of the 7th round of the draft last year. And he's making a difference already. It's going to be a lot for him to take him to the Super Bowl, but I guess if people like Trent Dilfer and Jimmy G over the years can take their teams, their stack teams to the Super Bowl, why not Brock Purdy?
Do you not think Brock Purdy's better than Jimmy G? Just those last 2 games. I know we haven't seen
Jimmy G was a 2nd round pick. He was traded for a 1st rounder or 2nd rounder at one point, I think. Brock Purdy doesn't have that skill set. He's like, he has to be on schedule. He's short. He doesn't have arm strength. He can't throw the deep ball. There's limitations, but if anyone can operate with limitations, it's probably Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about all these quarterbacks and MVPs. I mean, your 2 quarterback, you love Dak for years. I'm glad you're finally admitting it. I don't know if it's a real admission of like, oh, Tua isn't actually that good, but we'll see what happens.
That's not real. It's just what the world is talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dak is real. So I lost a bet, and I'll just let people in a little bit here. I lost a bet early in the season. I bet mutual friend. I said, hey, Jalen Hurts actually sucks, and people are like blowing him in the Eagles. And we talked about this in the preseason. Yeah. Wrong about that too. Apparently, it was a rough year for Sportstradamus after all. But we're wrong about the Eagles. We're wrong about Jalen Hurts. And I was like, Dak is going to have a better year than Jalen Hurts in fantasy, and let's bet on it. And then I have to pay that out. Yeah, I have to pay that out. We didn't even have to look up the stats. There's nothing to look up. It's just
you didn't even have to look it up. Once Dak was injured, it was I think kind of over, right? Yeah. Wow.
Well, I feel like he came back and he was still bad. And Jalen Hurts is good. So I'm back to the drawing board on quarterback evaluation, just letting everyone know. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the lab this summer looking at tape. Maybe Brock Purdy will rise up the rankings. We're going to have new rankings, Reddit rankings for NFL quarterbacks heading into next fall. And it's going to be J-Dog 2.0. It's going to be like a new thought process, new evaluation on the quarterback position.
Who are some of your up-and-comers? What's going on right now with up-and-comer QBs? Who are you like, oh, I got an eye on this. Is Geno on that list, or is he on the downslope? What's going on?
Wouldn't say Geno's on the list.
Okay.
Wouldn't say Brock Purdy's on the list yet, but I'm open-minded to it. One guy on the list, maybe it's not surprising, Trevor Lawrence. He's showing me some moxie. Like he's showing me he's got that dog in him. It's like what Zach Wilson was supposed to have. Trevor Lawrence kind of has it, right?
Yeah, but he's like a little too like beautiful. Like I was watching the game as he was coming in, and he just had a close up on his blue eyes and the locks coming down.
Too beautiful.
Yeah, like he almost looks like a girl, but like he's a man, but he looks very beautiful. I don't know how to describe it. I saw his eyes last night, and I was like mesmerized by his eyes. I was like, wow, he's a good looking guy. I was really
brought you in. Well, you know, Colin Cowherd has that thought. He's like, the best quarterbacks in the world are the good-looking kids on the playground. And then they have everyone like looking up to them, and then all their friends, and they're Mr. Popular. And then you just become a leader at 8 years old, and then you become a quarterback. And so I think you might be onto something with the good looks of Trevor Lawrence, maybe impacting the whole team. And the Niners are rallying around Brock Purdy. Maybe he's a good-looking guy too. I don't know if he's on Jimmy G's level, but maybe this is a new trend we're seeing.
I don't think Jimmy G is coming back next year. All right, what do you want to talk about? Did we?
Wait, I got more things we missed. The World Cup. The World Cup was pretty. lit.
Yeah, the World Cup.
Listen, we don't do soccer talk on this show ever. We don't watch like the leagues that are going on in Europe and everywhere else or MLS. But World Cup, we're all in, and there were some great matches. The stars performed. We got some penalty kicks. I was sick, as we talked about during the World Cup, so I was watching a lot. Were you watching?
Didn't watch. The only game I watched was the France and Argentina game, the last one, the actual World Cup, the 1 and 2 playing each other.
Yeah,
I wasn't impressed, and they're like, "This is the best game ever." And I'm like, if that's the best game ever, I'm probably
impressed by that game.
I wasn't. I was like, it's okay. I was watching it. I was like, it was kind of amazing that they actually came back when it's overtime, started the kicks, but I don't know. I was almost like upset that everybody was so into it because like. The U.S. isn't even there. I know you don't talk about soccer because if you did, we would talk. Somebody would bring up like, "Hey, did you see that MLS match or see this match?" No one talks about soccer, and all of a sudden, everybody's a goddamn expert on it. I didn't like that. So talk about soccer for the next 4 years, and I will believe you. I was in some group threads, and everybody was like, all of a sudden, a soccer professional, like, "Oh well, yeah, this guy's a great striker over here." Blah blah blah. No one knows that shit. So I was out on it almost like in spite of everybody else loving it so much.
We do that. We
So
become
that's why I
experts on things just after like watching for 20 seconds. And that's a
Yeah.
very,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
an American thing. It's like, oh, there's a hurricane
Definitely.
coming. Everyone's a hurricane expert. Oh, the stock market's crashing. Everyone's an economy expert. Like we actually aren't experts on anything, it turns out, but we just say we are.
Yeah.
I love that last match with France and Argentina. There were so many shots on goal late. It was like the France comeback. Argentina was about to blow them out. France came back, and then it was the stars. It was Messi on Argentina, Mbappe on France, the two best players in the world going at it. One's Nike, one's Adidas. It's like this whole rivalry.
Our mutual friend chiming in. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody talks soccer because I yell at them if you do. And yeah, that's true. I was in some group chats with our mutual friend and I said, why are you guys talking about soccer? No one cares. That's
Well, they don't talk about it with you anymore, but apparently other people do talk about it because we're getting comments on it from the mutual friend.
Yeah.
Our mutual friend, I believe, subscribes to a streaming service to watch soccer on weekend mornings before the NFL starts.
What service is that has soccer on the weekends?
I'm not sure. So I thought the World Cup was great. Penalty kicks are great. The traditionalists don't like it, but I'm also happy it's every 4 years. Like if we had to do that every year, it's like it wouldn't be as special and cool. And of course, we're setting this up for 2026. You know, the World Cup is right here in the US, so it's like a perfect World Cup to get everyone fired up for the next one.
What did you think about the penalty kicks and the match? Because in a way, it's kind of like, well, kind of like how hockey turned it into like, we'll just continuously play overtime until somebody can win this game. I didn't really like it because it seemed like, I don't know. It's like these guys are professional soccer players and they can't get it past this guy with the huge ass net. Why? I don't know. It didn't make much sense to me. And I'm sure there's other ways to end it, but it almost didn't seem fair because if you had more people that are better kickers, you're naturally just going to win that. It's almost like, let's go.
Well, the soccer team should have people who are better kickers. That's
you should, you would think, but it didn't seem like France had anybody that could get it through the goaltender.
Maybe the Argentinian goalie was just better than the France goalie.
Maybe. Well, they did win, so there we go. That's as much soccer as I have.
The penalty kicks are great. You can't just run around the pitch, as they call it, for hours and hours. They played the full 90 minutes plus the stoppage time, which is one of the stupid things, and then they have 30 extra minutes plus stoppage time, and you never know how much time is left. That's one of my big things on soccer. But they ran around for 2 hours. I mean, how that pitch is massive. The field is massive. How long do you have them go? You just have them run for 2 more hours and try to score? I think you got to call it. And so I'm glad they did the penalty kicks when they did, and Argentina won.
You want to talk about
I got
YouTube
more.
TV
I got
real
more.
quick? Oh, you got more. Okay. We only got 15
Antonio
minutes.
Brown.
I gotta.
That's true. We'll get to YouTube. Antonio Brown barricaded himself in a home since our last podcast. Police outside. We never got resolution. Where's Antonio Brown right now? Never got a payoff on that story.
Now, I've seen a lot of Antonio Brown stories. I almost feel like they're fake because nothing ever happens to him. He's like in Dubai, whipping around his penis all over the place, sleeping with girls that may or may not look like Giselle. Are these real? Are they really happening? Did he really lock himself up in a room? Is this, I don't know. Nothing seems real. Like, what is Antonio Brown doing? Why are they letting him rampage around like this?
They never finish this story. It's always like, here's his situation. You never hear what happened, the effect of the cause. ChatGPT, Mike, is changing the world. We talked about it a little bit last night. We're excited about that. Carvana is going out of business. If you're looking for a used car, wait for those prices to plummet next year, and then you can. And then my final topic of things we missed before we get to YouTube TV is Tom Brady had an eventful 4 weeks. So he's had 2 last-minute comebacks since we last did a show against the Rams and the Saints, and you think he's back. Tom Brady's back. He's also been blown out by the Niners and your boy Brock Purdy. He also took a big lead against the Bengals. Tony Romo's blowing him last week about the offense looks better than it has all year. This is the new Bucs. They're going to win a playoff game. And then they're like shut out in the second half, and the Bengals end up blowing him out. So bottom line, where do we stand on Tom Brady after an eventful month?
Listen, I think he's doing really well for what's been going on. Probably losing a couple $100 million in the FTX bankruptcy crash, whatever you want to call it. There's actually no money in that account. Getting a divorce. I think he's holding up. He's winning games. He seems really angry. So if you're watching the game, he is so pissed. I would not want to be in that locker room. I would not want to be on that team. He seems much more fiery in the last few weeks than I've seen him in a long time. And I don't know if that's good for him or good for the team, but he has some fire in him. I I actually wouldn't be surprised if we went far into the playoffs because I mean they're leading the division. It's a very
What?
poor division. Yeah,
They're gonna win a game
I
or
just
two?
I think something in Brady is just like he wants it more than anybody else. You don't see that fire. Guess who you don't see it in? You don't see it in Zach Wilson. You don't see it in
No,
Sam Darnold. You don't
no.
see it in
Well,
many.
it's hard to
I don't see
compare
it in.
Brady to those people. Can we
Okay,
compare
but
him to better people? Aaron
what
Rodgers?
about Derek Carr? Aaron Rodgers doesn't care either. He's like,
He
well,
doesn't
the
care.
offense is the offense. We're just here
Hand
playing the game.
motions.
Yeah,
Memorize my
hand
hand
motion. Don't
motions. I
like.
won't teach you,
Yeah,
but memorize them.
yeah. So I don't know. He seems like he's more in it than most quarterbacks out there. Like Derek Carr, he's not great, but he's not fiery. No one's like pissed off more than Tom Brady when he's playing on the field and you're
But
not
that only
performing
gets you
well.
so far. Brady hasn't completed a pass downfield in like years at this point. Like, what's the point of
He's
Mike
an old
Evans
man.
when you don't throw it deep to him? The offensive system is not impressive. They don't have a good running game. They don't have an offensive line. It's more than just Brady. I don't know how you can say they're going to make a playoff run. I don't know how they're going to win their playoff game. It's going to be at home in Tampa in January, but they're going to be a home dog. So you'll probably bet on them, but they're going to be a home
I might
dog
bet
in the
on him, yeah.
playoffs to the number 5 seed, whoever it is. Maybe
Well,
Dallas.
who do you think? I mean, in the NFC right now, it's what we have like Eagles, 49ers. Are the Giants in there? And who else are in there? Like Brady and who
Yeah,
else?
maybe Washington, maybe Giants.
Washington. Like I
Packers
could
making a
really,
run.
you could see
I
it
think it's set
happen.
up for Cowboys Bucks playoff game, and I think you are going to take the Bucks in that game. So I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I like Brady over Dak for sure. Wow, that's a lot of stuff that happened. I do want to
I
mention
know.
ChatGPT real quick. If you have not used it, if you don't know what it is the most amazing thing I've ever played with. I know people have talked about it tons. Go in there. It made me meal plans, Excel formulas, Notion formulas, whatever you want, it can do. And it's really weird. It's also costing them about $3 million a day to operate ChatGPT. It's like
I
0
didn't know
point
that.
whatever. It's like 3 cents for every whatever ding you type in there. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. This AI thing's going to take over. I use Notion all the time. Inside Notion app, they started adding some AI writing in there. It's like, hey, write me a blog post. Wrote me a blog post. This is going to take over the content game. Like I can make 100 blogs within probably 25 minutes if I wanted to. And it's insane
Who
what it
is
can
it
spit
going
out.
to replace? Who is out of business because of Chat GPT?
I think it's going to replace the way you operate things. You're still going to need somebody to input some sort of command in there, but you could have it write you a resume, have you write an email header. It could have you write so many things that you no longer have to think. I think it's going to take away from copywriters, a lot of content people. If you're a business operating something like that, it's unlimited content. What, like all of a sudden the Sports Hangover tomorrow, we could have 500 articles on any single topic you want and go into detail. It's like, okay,
Wow.
tell me about the
Probably
NFL.
should.
Tell me about, maybe we will. Maybe we'll just have a ton of content spit out. I just think it's amazing and it's a lot of fun to play with. Go in there, ask it a question, and ask it even more detailed questions because it will get you to the nitty gritty. It's going to replace Google. It's amazing. I
Wow.
love it a lot. Yeah, I love it.
There you go. Ring endorsement.
Yes, go. It's free, so go use it. Let's talk YouTube. Tell me about YouTube. I saw that
Well, it's my
I
big dick
actually
energy of the week or maybe of the month is YouTube TV taking over Sunday NFL Ticket, right?
so last night we were talking at dinner. We were talking about YouTube, Sunday tickets coming there. We were like trying to break down the numbers, right? You were like, well, how many do they need? They charge this much right now with DirecTV. I saw somebody break down the numbers. Did you see
Oh, do you
this
have
too?
it?
I have it right in
I
front
saw
of
a
me.
tweet on at one point. Tell us.
So they need to break down the numbers. So DirecTV had 20 million subscribers in 2017. In 2022, they had 13.5 million. What YouTube needs to do, if they start out with 4 million subscribers right away, it's going to cost $500. If they have 5 million subscribers needed, they can do $400. If they have 6.6, they can do $300. I, for some reason, I honestly think it's going to be a lot cheaper. I think it's probably going to be, would you pay $79 a month for this for the football season?
79
Or
a
would you
month
pay-
is getting up to $400 total, right? Throughout the
Yeah, but
season.
is it somewhere there? Do they lock you in for a few months? It's also going to be on YouTube where you can just buy the package. So they might do different tiers. Like if you're a YouTube we're YouTube TV subscribers.
We
What if
are.
like, hey, $9 a month added on to your TV, you paying maybe $50 for the year to get this whole package, which I would love.
Sure, $50 a year is great. $9 a month is great, and that's like what the Red Zone add-on is. It's $10 a month. I do it because it's $250 a Sunday. That's an
It's
easy
great.
$250 to drop, and it makes so much sense. Now we all love Red Zone, and so how does Sunday NFL Ticket? I feel like 10 years ago was a much bigger deal than it is now to be able to watch all these games because Red Zone has changed the way we watch, and we don't like to just turn on one game. Even in prime time, we talk about if it's a good Sunday or Monday night game. If it's not like your team, it might be hard to really be invested in a one game at one time versus when all the games are going on Red Zone. So that's one piece of it is will they get people off of Red Zone into this? The second piece of it is to your point. What's the difference other than not having DirecTV if you still have to pay $400 to $500 a year? You don't have to have a satellite dish in your roof, the physical device. I get that. And that's a better thing for people like me and you because we don't have DirecTV and we never would anyway,
Sure.
but we have access to DirecTV and Wi-Fi. The question is, will they be able to, something that DirecTV hasn't done, and this is one theory I've seen, is will you be able to buy one team's games for much less of a price? So for MLB TV, for example, I subscribe to the Atlanta Braves only and not all of baseball because it's cheaper. And then I just watch Braves games. So can I just subscribe to my Dolphins living here in California and only watch Dolphins games? But Mike, maybe I do pay the $70 for the year instead of $400, but then maybe you have 20 million people paying the $70 a year to your math instead of the 3 million people paying 400, and then the math works out better, and then everyone has more access.
I almost think of it as like tiers of pricing. So instead of doing $70 for a team, it should be a flat fee for like, well, if you want if you want this Sunday ticket package, maybe you only get Red Zone for $10 a month, but you're counted as a subscriber within that Sunday ticket, and maybe add in, because I've never got to really use Sunday ticket. I've seen our mutual friend Sunday ticket. I like that you can pick the games, put them up on the screen. I think that should cost more, but I do think they're going to have to subsidize it slightly. And I was telling you last night, I think the reach of YouTube much bigger than DirecTV.
Of course. Anyone
Old
has
people.
access.
Yeah.
Anyone with Wi-Fi.
Old people have DirecTV, and that will be no longer a thing. I don't know if it's going to stay in business as a business, but I just think the way YouTube's going to do it, I'm hoping it's almost like, you know, when YouTube TV came out, it's like, hey, get the first 3 months free and pay $40. Obviously, since then, the price has gone up. I think they're going to do something like that just to get you in. You're like, hey, do you want to watch Sunday Ticket for $10 for this month? Watch it and see if you like it. And I think they'll hook people in. I'm going to get
as a consumer, that would be great. But the problem is Google's not in the business of losing money. And if they show that they're losing money on this $2.5 billion deal to Wall Street, we know Wall Street is penalizing tech companies for losing money at this point in streaming services. YouTube's going to have to find a way to show profits on this deal, or else they're going to be penalized as a business.
I'm going to look this up real quick. I'm going to look up YouTube, how many YouTube TV subscribers there are.
There's not that many. It's like 5 million. I thought there'd be so many more.
So there's 5 million. And then how many YouTube premium subscribers are there? Because that's where I think people are going to be paying for stuff like this.
Now, this is in YouTube channels, which I'm not as familiar with, but apparently it's easy to just jump on and subscribe to things.
No. I mean a YouTube premium subscription. So you don't have to watch ads in front of any videos. So you pay like, I don't know, $9 a month and you don't have to do it anymore. In 2020, there's 20 million users paying for YouTube Premium. So that's 20
in the
million
US
people
or in the world?
Platform that's just in the United States.
Wow.
So they already have people paying something. I'm sure these little add-ons. So they already have tons of people. So I think it's easy for them to get it. YouTube TV is still a very niche thing. I got my dad onto it finally, and he's like, "Oh wow, this is great. I don't need a cable box."
People love it when they finally adopt to it.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be huge for football and for YouTube TV and streaming and everything like that. So I think it's fun. It's gonna be fun. We'll see what happens. And then when their deal's up, all the Fox, CBS, everything like that, all those deals are up as well. So you might see like Sunday NFL games only be on YouTube TV, which in 7 years.
In the next deal. That's like 2030 or so.
Yeah, something like that. Do we want to do
component? Just one more
yes.
component. There's only gonna be one red zone starting next year, and it's gonna be a battle. Will it be our boy Scott Hansen, who we love, or will it be the boy you don't love, Andrew Siciliano, who you make fun of his ears, and a lot of people do, and it's not very nice. But there are two versions, and next year only one will win out.
Listen, if Scott doesn't win, it's going to be a downfall for Red Zone because he's the guy that everybody wants. No one wants, but that Andrew Siciliano guy, he was only DirecTV, right?
Yeah, so it's maybe more likely he's on the chopping block, right?
I would hope he's on the chopping block because what Scott Hansen does is what we want. We don't want him. I feel like
Scott Hansen.
Yeah, the DirecTV version feels like a C-list version of what Scott does.
I saw a video with Scott Hansen getting ready for NFL Sunday. He eats his breakfast 6:45 a.m. Like 3 hours before kickoff. He eats all this salty food and has 2 Diet Cokes and stops drinking and eating right after that. And so the salty food absorbs all the water in his system. And he literally doesn't go to the bathroom, as we know, from 10 a.m. Pacific to like 4:30 p.m. Pacific. He says he finishes the show at 4:30. He still doesn't have to go. He just goes home, orders food, starts eating and drinking.
It can't be good for him.
He goes again. No, it can't be healthy at all.
No. We started this podcast 26 minutes ago, and I have to pee. I've been drinking water. I'm like, I got to pee really bad.
Well, you're an old man. All right, let's get to the NFL schedule this week. I know you have picks. I know you have updates on how you're doing this season. I just want to mention the Sunday games. We should have flexed them because they're not great Sunday games, but they're the only games on Sunday on Christmas Day, and we have to watch them.
I like the full weekend. We have Saturday, we have Sunday, we have Monday. I don't know what days these games are that we're gambling on. These are not locked. These are not locked picks. We discussed this morning. Mutual friend stuck in a snowstorm in Portland right now.
No.
So all he has is time. So I think he sounded fine. He sounded okay.
So we haven't everywhere but LA, by the way, right?
It's great here. It's gonna be like 80 degrees this weekend.
It's great.
Beach weather. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do these quick because I gotta run. I got another call.
Okay. Yeah.
We're taking Pittsburgh -2.5 at home against the Raiders.
That's Saturday night, Christmas Eve night, the Franco Harris game. Rest in peace, Franco Harris. So sad he passed away right before his big weekend.
So mutual friend, big Steelers fan, thinks this is the reason why they're going to win. They're going to play for him. They're going to fight hard. This is like a real thing. This is his analysis of the game. I'm kind of backing it a little. I don't like Derek Carr. I don't like what the Raiders are doing. I think this is an easy win for Pittsburgh. They're a weird team because I don't believe in them, but they show up.
I don't get the reason for Franco Harris, but it's going to be like negative wind chill, and Derek Carr plays in Vegas and went to college in California, and I don't think he's ready for negative wind chill.
I don't think so either. We are taking. Oh, this is my favorite one. This favorite bet of the week. We're fading Dak and the Cowboys. We're taking Philly with Gardner Minshew.
With Gardner Minshew, who last time we saw Gardner Minshew was doing a eulogy for Mike Leach during a practice week, and he gave a great speech. Apparently, he was cursing in the church, and now he's going to play at Cowboys on Christmas Eve.
I love it so much. I think Philly is a good team all around, and if that offensive line is what everybody thinks it is, Gardner Minshew is going to have plenty of time to sling that ball. This is also like a chance for Gardner Minshew to go get a starting job next year. This is your resume builder right here where you can go play for the Raiders next year or go play for Tampa next year when Tom Brady's in wherever else, Miami or back to Patriots. I love it. I love this game. I'm excited to watch this game. I'm really excited to watch Dak just completely fail at trying to win this game. This one
The Cowboys are home favorites in this game with Gardner Minshew?
Home favorites.
It's weird the line shifted all the way because if Jalen plays, the Eagles are favorites in Dallas.
100%.
More than 5
I mean, what would you think if Hurts was playing? What would this line be? Would this be Dallas plus
Philly
1?
by 2? Yeah, Dallas plus 2.
Something like that. So it did move
like
quite a bit.
7-point swing on Jalen. That's like MVP type swing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a real swing, but I think they're just trying to get some money on the other side. So we'll see what happens.
Brown, Devontae Smith, Gardner has some dog in him too.
Yeah, a lot of dogs out there playing these days.
Yeah, not a dog.
He was bad last night.
Not a dog.
Cincinnati at the Patriots. We're taking Patriots plus 3. It's going to be cold as shit. We're also fading the fact that Cincinnati has covered the spread 11. They're 11-1 against the spread the last few weeks, covering the spread.
Wow, that's really good.
You have at some point Vegas has to know they're not going to win a game or cover
That's
anymore.
Cincinnati's 11-1 against the spread.
Yeah, 11-1 against the spread.
Joe Burrow, what a guy.
Well, they've also been like
amazing.
Underdogs, and I mean, he's definitely better than Mac Jones. Mac Jones is very bad.
Well, yeah, most people are. By the way, we didn't mention in our recap what the Patriots did last week.
What did they do last week?
I mean, that play.
The
lateral play that was insane. It was tied. They're acting like they were losing. It was tied. That was an insane way to lose. And then the Mac Jones gets face planted. It was like so perfect. The whole play was so perfect.
It was great. Did you see some of the videos of the fans? Like I saw one guy cheering. They're like, yeah, we're going to go in the over. They're like so excited for it. And then all of a sudden you see his face like kind of just drop and then realize like, oh my God, they're going to lose the game.
It was so bad. Shocking. I don't know if I bet on the Patriots coming off that. That's like a demoralizing, like, how do you bounce back from that type of thing?
You got to bounce back from that. And at Cincinnati had that big win over Tampa. I think this is a good spot for the Patriots right here.
I was watching some of that game. Mac Jones is bad. Like the Patriots offense is so bad. They need a new quarterback, new system. Could Belichick walk away? That's an offseason storyline.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of time to talk about that. We got the whole offseason. Chicago at home +8 against Buffalo. I love this. The only thing that scares me, there's 90% of the money on Chicago right now. It's going to be cold as shit. I don't love Justin Fields, but I do like that he's unpredictable and he can run the ball. And if this is a tight, cold game where it's like, what is it going to be in Chicago? Like -2 degrees or something? It's going to be cold. Very, very cold. I just think when it's that cold, it's going to be hard to run, and you kind of like weirdly get hurt more when it's cold, right? You like stick a finger. It's like, oh, it's really, I don't know. When you're cold, things hurt more. I hurt my arm last week skiing. Yeah,
these players are in their 20s. I don't think they deal with that.
I got hurt. What do you think? Do you like this at all, or is this a crazy?
I'm surprised the public money's on Chicago when Buffalo's involved. I would expect the public to chase Buffalo. Buffalo played well in the snow against Miami. You know, the snow came kind of late in that game. It was supposed to be a whole snow game. It was fourth quarter snow game, and they had a great drive to seal it away. So I don't think the cold is a problem for Josh Allen. He played in Wyoming in college. I don't know. I guess it's okay because it's +8, but I think the Bills could still win by more than 8.
Yeah, but Josh hasn't looked like 100% in the last few weeks. So I think he's still dealing with that like elbow, shoulder thing.
Stephon Diggs has been asking for the ball a lot.
Well, hopefully he doesn't get it this week. We're taking Washington +7 in San Francisco. We are fading all of the public money. We're doing what the sharps are doing. We're coming in on Washington. I think the idea of Brock Purdy I love it, but at some point you have to fade him. I think Chase Young is coming back this week for Washington. I think it's just going to be like it's cold up in San Francisco too. Maybe not as cold as it would be in Washington. And what's his name? Shanahan. He's not very good at home. He doesn't really cover or win at home. This is like the scariest game of the week for me. Taking Washington +7 at home. I mean, on the road.
It's a warm weather game. It's not one of those cold weather games this week. So Washington shouldn't be affected by that. In San Francisco, I don't know. It's gonna be warm in LA. It's not gonna be like the wind chills everywhere else. They're hinting about maybe Heineke's not the guy. They were so excited about him a few weeks ago, and now it's like, oh, Carson Wentz might be the guy again. So that's not a good thing.
Get him out of there.
And then they lost on that bullshit. The ref called that illegal.
Yeah, that was weird.
And they lost on that, which is like a whole nother story we can talk about in a future time, because maybe that ref had money on the Giants and wanted to like call a weird penalty to affect the game. And the NFL has to be concerned about that. It's fine to take Washington in this situation. It's just weird. You were just hyping up Brock Purdy, and now you're betting against him. So it's hard.
Yeah, you don't want to get up. You don't want to get too hyped, because if you're hyped, the public's hyped. Yeah. Everybody loves them too much. Yeah. I gotta run.
You got to jump. Another podcast to do. Listen, thanks to our
course.
live listeners. Thanks to the comments. Thanks for downloading. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. It's great when they're both in the same weekend. That's what we love.
is.
Mike's doing both dinners this weekend.
I am.
Happy holidays. And come back next week for Sports Radamas.
Yeah, check out sportshangover.com. A lot of nice sweaters in there for all this cold weather. Go there now. See you.